Welcome back, students. So we are continuing with research methods for management, and we are going to be talking about report writing. Today's topic is, of course, going to be about the basic layout of the research report, the precautions we must take for writing the research report, and of course, a very important part, which is what really constitutes a good, well-written report. So if we look at the components of a technical report in a very generalized manner, we would have a basic executive summary and an introduction, the methods that you have used to conduct the research which goes into the making of the report, the results, the conclusions, and so on and so forth. But of course, everybody would give you a slightly different format of the report, and we're going to be talking about the academic research report. So we start with the title page. We must have a table of contents, of course. There has to be an executive summary, introduction, findings, conclusions, recommendations, and of course the bibliography and references. Now, just to make it very, very clear, let's go slowly, one by one, as to what all are the essential elements of the report. So we are going to divide the report into three main parts. The first part is going to be what we are going to call the beginning matter. So that is the title page. The title page must very clearly have the basic title of the research, the agency which has authorized you to conduct this particular research, or for whom you're conducting this research. There has to be some sort of a date line given, which means the year that you are in or a particular month that you want to mention, and who has made this report, or if there is a team, then all of the names have to come there. So that will be the title page. Next comes the certifications. If you have been asked to make this report, who has actually directed to you to do that? What are your, the certifications from your guide or supervisor or your boss, in case it is that you're doing a job and the report is a part of your work that you are doing. Then comes acknowledgements. Who all are the people you want to acknowledge in the completion of this report, who have helped out in any particular manner. Of course, then comes the preface or the executive summary. The preface or the executive summary is really a short summary of what is it that you propose to do. Why did you actually think of taking up this topic for research, and what do you think this research is going to achieve in terms of what are the benefits which will accrue to your knowledge base or to the organization for which you are doing this research. All that has to be given in the executive summary or the preface, which is just giving you a preview, a peek into what you propose to do, why you propose to do it, and what you hope to gain out of conducting this research. Then, of course, there is the index, which is going to be the table of contents. That's the beginning matter. Then comes the body of the report. The body of the report starts with an introduction to the topic, to the research topic that you have undertaken. The research methodology that you propose to take comes next. So this will include the sampling design that you have taken to choose the sample, the sampling size, the number of respondents that you're going to, interview or ask them to fill questionnaires or even for observation. All that will go into that. Then comes the data analysis. Once you've collected all the data, then it has to be tabulated, classified, and treated. So you are going to analyze the data that you have collected. Then obviously you're going to interpret this data, which means it leads us to findings of whatever data that you have analyzed. And then comes the recommendations, the suggestions, and finally we have conclusions and a short summary, so that it just kind of puts it into a little capsule as to what you have really concluded out of this particular research. And finally we have what is called the ending matter, which is we're going to include the appendix, the glossary, and a bibliography. The appendix is any kind of tables, graphs, figures, or any questionnaire that you may have prepared. All that can go into the appendix. Then comes the glossary, any terms, especially the technical terms that you have used, which the person reading the report may not understand right away, or maybe you want to limit the scope by identifying these terms in a certain way, that goes into the glossary. And finally, we have the bibliography, which is all the references and the citations that you have used, and wherever you have drawn from any other kind of secondary data which you have collected. So all that will come into the bibliography. How to write a good report. A good report has to have clarity of thought. It should be simple, clear, language should be simple, sentences should be short. Language should not be confusing. There should be no ambiguity as to whatever you say. It has to be very, very clear cut, very concise, and the reader should be able to understand the report, and also it should be pleasantly structured, not confusing. So when you're looking at the report, it should be very easy to follow as to what comes after what. So accuracy of information is definitely going to be top of the list. Clarity, coherence, everything should come together very well, and conciseness. If you can do all this, you have a very good report at hand. Remember, structure of the report is of key essence. So until next time, thank you so much, and we will meet again for more parts of report writing soon. Thank you.